knocking out all bums. Don't bring that weak shit in here.
4, 3, 2, kick it.
Yo, Chico,
Expose these clowns!
Attention! Boom, watch out! It's time for the Freddy Chico show to begin. Open up your ears and listen close. I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Building them strong, watch these clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'ma give them the best of my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Building them strong, watch these clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'ma give them the best of my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I speak for the truth of my people, I will never quit. No fear in my heart, they keep talking while I'm living this. Kneel for the spirit of the fallen, calling Japanese. Them soldiers always raising up our Fifth Street analysts. They lost in the zone of a fatal state. True facts in the story only carry weight. Keep the grind on your mind each and every day. But don't copy off of mine, eat what's on your plate. Respect the Huey P. and Bobby Seale. Malcolm X and the King, cause the dream is real. What I said, and I mean it all. If you're looking for the real Freddy Chico show, I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Building them strong, watch these clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'ma give them the best of my wordplay. Freddy Chico show. I'm here for the justice of my people living by the code. Building them strong, watch these clowns all get exposed. My energy never fade. I'ma give them the best of my wordplay. Freddy Chico show.
Welcome to the Freddy Chico Show, where the truth is revealed and never concealed. I got my man Akash Ahmed in Instagram. Appreciate you. My boy FHO was in the building for a second. I don't know if he came in, if he's still in here, or he dipped out. I see one here. I think he's still here. Let's go. This is Rep Your City time. Let me know where you're checking in from. Starting the timer now. Let's go. Let me know where you're checking in from. Even if I already know personally, let the people know where you're checking in from. You are live. Pastor Rand in the building. Hey, I appreciate you, sir. Let them know where you're checking in from. We're going to get started. Mondays is religious topics. And if you haven't already, please go to thefreddychicoshow.com to register as a member so you can submit your topics. Remember, no topics off limit. Just keep it clean, no cursing. If you do, I'll adjust it accordingly and try to get it as accurate as your topic wanted to be without the cursing. Do me a favor, do the share and invite and like and subscribing on the YouTube. And we will get started soon. Got 2 minutes in. The East Point, Georgia is in the building. Fulton County. Mo's stomping grounds over there. Okay, appreciate you, sir. Akash Ahmed, let them know where you're coming from. Waiting for some people to get into the room. We are going to get started. Let's see here. Make sure they have the invite. Stream, copy. Alright, let's get it in there. It's already showing it there. Gotcha. So just need to put it here. How was your weekend, sir? Mine was hectic, so I definitely need prayers and lifting up, because you just get those moments where you're just a little weary, where you're not supposed to faint, but you think about it. You think about it. But I got a couple of calls this afternoon that kind of gave me the energy, motivation, some text messages and things like that. So I appreciate people's looking after me, my people supporting me. So everybody needs some support from somewhere. Oh no, we lost Mohammed. Let's see who we can get in here. Come on, FHO. Where'd you go? What about these guys here? Thank you. Yeah, all right. We'll talk. We'll talk afterwards. Cause kind of hesitant on that. Okay. Let me adjust. Let me know if this sounds louder. I know sometimes people say I'm too loud, so I don't want to. Make sure. Let me see what the volume is looking like. I can go up a little bit more. Let's see. Let me know if that's louder for you. I can go a little higher. How about right there? Testing. 1, 2, test. Testing 1, 2. 2, test. I'll hit you right after the show. Okay, the time is up. So we're going to start the topic. The topic tonight is man-hating in the church must stop. Man-hating in the church must stop. Let me know, Pastor Rand, if you can hear me now, if it's a little bit better in sound. Instagram, let me know if y'all can hear me. I know it's not on the computer, but I know there's a hard topic for some, because it goes against what they've entrained in their brains to view. So some people will avoid this topic today because of that, but that's a part of it that we got to address. That's a part of the situation. So, man-hating the church. In order to fix any problem, we got to be able to identify it. And for most, identification is pretty difficult because, the average person will say man-hate or hate of any kind is the overtly insulting. Men are all dogs, or men can't be faithful. Those are very overt, insulting descriptions of men. But what's not so obvious is the jokes, we were just playing around. It was just, a comedic or sense of humor, playing on stereotypes where a man can't cook, or something to that effect, where a man needs to be supervised by his wife, because if the wife is not there, the man's just gonna go out of control. Those aren't looked at as man-hating. Or Father's Day was just this last Sunday. The level of celebration for Father's Day versus the level of celebration for Mother's Day, nowhere close. And some people really have a difficulty looking at that and going, oh, yeah, I see your point. We get all the bells and whistles for the mothers, but when it comes to fathers, we don't have the time. We don't have the energy. We don't have that same energy for it. And then, of course, not all, but there's a few in the clergy that take that as an opportunity to kiss women's behinds, so they'll bash men to get in good favor with the bitter women. And so you will see in more churches than not my church, but in more churches than not, on Father's Day, it's always some bitter woman claiming that her baby dad did something to him. And even men, some men do that too. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Is that you overtly ask your church for the same effort and energy for Father's Day as Mother's Day. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. And I'm not trying to say, oh, well, since we hate on fathers, we should hate on mothers. No, the opposite. When it's Mother's Day, and let Mother's Day be about mothers. Not about single mothers. Not about single mothers who had to endure a man and all that stuff. Just be awesome because you're a mother. Period. Bottom line. You're an awesome mother because you do the things that require you to deliver blood, sweat, and tears. Everything that's in what a mother is. You do that. So that day, you do absolutely nothing. You get catered to. But too many women are getting catered to 365 days. So, it kind of loses some steam because all the other holidays are the same thing. Labor Day, get your wife something. Veterans Day, get your wife something. Memorial Day, get your wife something. It's always get you some jewelry. But Father's Day, get you some underwear. Get you some socks. Get you a TV dinner. Or get you some tools. That's the biggest thing I see every Father's Day is get you some tools. Get you a grill. Never put your feet up and relax because you actually work as well. They always want to say, yes, these mothers are working hard and they work all the time. But when it comes to fathers, they're like, nah, we want you to work on your day too. That's like working on your birthday. Like, yeah, it's my birthday, but I'm going to paint a house or something. Like, no. You got 364 other days to give your father some tools. Leave Father's Day alone. And there's men that think that that's what they're supposed to get, so they go along with it. They've been conditioned and trained to do that. And then they go, well, there's not a lot of men in the church. Well, if every sermon is dogging out men, who would want to be there? Because women wouldn't be there if they were getting dogged out at the same level. And yes, I've been to the churches that sit up there and every other joke is at a man's expense. And you can hear it. It's not even like subtle. It's like you hear these cackling hands. Yeah, go, Pastor. Say that again, Pastor. We gotta fix these men. No, don't buy no tools on Father's Day. No. Leave that for another day. You got 364 other days you can give them some darn tools. Home Depot, I never heard Lowe's, but Home Depot good for talking about some, get your father what he wants. Get your husband for Father's Day what he wants. Who told I want a tool? A saw? A hammer? I'm not going to lie, there's things where I look at them like, oh yeah, I could probably use that and blah, blah, blah. But if anything, I'll get that. I don't need you to buy that for me. That's not a present. That's no different than buying a woman a vacuum cleaner for Mother's Day. They ain't have no commercial talking about some, get your mother a sewing machine. She'll start making some clothes or something. You know what I mean? He said, but reality for those churches is they are the ones that serve and will put money in the plate. Well, I do have some information on that. I do have some background in that where for the most part, and I don't know if that's in your experience as well. And I forgot to say what's up to Walter. Salute. Um, that a lot of the people, over 75% of the people that actually go to church, don't support the church financially. There's a very small percentage that actually support the church financially. But to me, it still should not dictate how the sermons go. You know what I mean? Sermons should be about the truth, not keeping people in the seats. Because if they're like, okay, and I'm not a pastor, so I cannot speak from the pastor's pressure to have to say certain things in order for people to not want to leave the church, if that makes sense. Is that you said there are sermons for guys who don't go to church. those men who some of the church women date have kids by. But I'm sorry, I lost me in that thought. Is that yeah, he said I was on the church board. Most of the congregation leeches off the church. Right. It's like, to me, I don't know the pressures that deal with it, that you have to say certain things, or some people may be upset or may feel that you're targeting them. But to me, if I was in that position, I would not want that position if I could not speak the truth. If sister so and so is wrong, sister so and so need to be addressed, not just address brother so and so. Got a lot of dysfunction that happens in the church, and they'll say, "Oh, well, the church is a hospital for sick, so you're gonna have all these different types of." Yeah, that's fine, but you don't let the people walk around and without any medicine. Somebody need to give them some medicine. Maybe isolation. They might treat them like they got TB. You want to use the hospital analogy? Hey, I can get with you. That's my area of expertise. The medical field. But some people say things and they don't really have any basis for it, but they're hoping it'll close your mouth. Got you. Yeah, because that to me is when you know you got a powerful preacher. Is when you are listening to sermons and it pricks your heart on a situation where, like, ooh, I didn't know that. That kind of thing. Not just, okay, everything's just going to be, wonderful. I'm going to, get some prophetic message that I am going to come across a lot of money real soon. That corny crap, and there's a lot of them that do that, is just to fill seats. You said you have to address situations, not people, but situations often hit people. I'm one where it's like, it's confirmation. It's like, if you don't have, you at first have to establish your own relationship with God. And then after that, there's times where you're like, you might be teetering on the fence about something, and then you hear that message, and it's like, oh, okay. Okay, I hear you, God. That's what I was just in conversation with. You know what I mean? You told a pastor to stop preaching that stuff to the guys in church, to go to the houses and preach some of those to some women, and preach, to go to the houses of some of those women and preach to those guys. Instead, and some take it personal. Pricks your heart and not your feelings or agendas. Well, like I said, I don't want to go to the other extreme too, like, just fire and brimstone, where people are just like, everybody's going to hell and they should do this and that. I'm not saying that either, but it can't be just, women can do no wrong, kind of preaching that, because they know that, like Tyler Perry approach to preaching, that he says everything that the women want to hear, so they're going to keep spending their money on his movies. Yeah, preachers like, hey, this is what you want to hear. So yes, these men are bad, and every interpretation always puts the woman off the hook. Like, the Adam and Eve story, where some will preach that it's not Eve's fault and she has some type of um, um, excuse where she's not as much at fault as Adam, and people think that's cute or is okay to do when that's false. That is not scripture. But it sounds good to keep women in the pews by saying, "Oh yeah, Eve didn't hear it from God; she heard it secondhand, and so that's why it's not her fault." Adam and Eve were both punished because Adam and Eve both fell, not just Adam. And she had a punishment just like he had a punishment. If it wasn't her fault, she wouldn't have got punished. But let some people preach it because, like I said, it'll cater to the women. Oh, she's back. Oh, I appreciate you. I thought I lost you. Shay's in the building. What's going on? Talking about man hating the church. Are you a faithful churchgoer? Are you a tithing churchgoer? That's getting into personal stuff. I don't want to know all your business, but okay. You said now you go every now and then. Okay, that's better than nothing. Definitely go to a Bible-based church. You said I used to hate tithing when I saw some of the pastors abusing the money, but I had to read the Bible to feel better. Absolutely, I was right there with you. I was right there with it. It had some soul searching I had to take and some praying about it because I did not want to do that. But how I came out of that was knowing that I trust God is stronger than any preacher or man. That as long as I'm not going to say I just blindly give, but I will do my part in research and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I trust him. He's going to use that money regardless if that person is crooked. I'm not going to say I support a crooked person, so I see evidence of that. I'm not going to be under that person because I do believe the blessings and the curses on the head will fall onto the body. So I don't want to be a part of that body. You said Adam is a prime example of what happens when a man cannot lead, obviously. Oh, hush, hater. See, that's a very covert way to man hate right there you just did, Amshay. But I appreciate the example you gave. He said Eve has a propensity towards hearing the voice of the enemy since the garden. Thoughts? That might be a future topic right there. I have no problem addressing that, but ultimately both fell and both were punished. Not one was more than the other. They were both punished because they both knew better. When they start trying to give, you talking about some ultimate, that's you adding to the word. He didn't say that in the word. That's what you put on there to make women feel better about themselves. God didn't give man the ultimate rule, not woman. He gave the rule for both, man and woman. They were both there in the garden. So that's that stuff they talking about where they try to just put all the blame or the majority of the blame on the man. That's not it. Some churches are getting like the BET Awards. Yeah, that BET Awards, I heard. I didn't see it for myself. What's going on, Joseph? I appreciate you. haven't found a church home in like 4 years. Well, you got an open invitation to mine, and we've been streaming online. So let me know when you're ready. We'd love to have you. You said that invites her to Adam has a propensity to listen to the voice of his Eve, since he's the bone and flesh of his flesh. Got you. Yeah, dual accountability is offensive in this society. Look at that foolish thing about the lady talking about the ex-boyfriend should continue paying for her stuff even after she's no longer in the relationship, which I don't think she should have been paid for even before, while they're in the relationship. I think that's some simping stuff. My boy Shula King said it best. Shout out to comedian Shula King. What's going on, sir? Mr. Peterson is in the building. Is it Adam threw Eve under the bus? Yep, Eve threw the snake under the bus. So, He said Eve was loose like diarrhea. Really? Stop it. I appreciate you. I don't know if we want to mention it yet, but, we got some stuff in the works we're going to get to. Great question, Amshay. You asked me, so what do you think about female ministers? That's a tough one. Because I do know Scripture says, minister or females are not to have authority over men. But does that stop them from being ministers over other females? And again, it is Paul saying this to Timothy. And I've had female ministers, my buddies and friends, that they know the word. They can teach. So is that wrong? Is that right? It says Paul, not God. So that you gotta take that into consideration. It was Paul's wishes, because at the same time, Paul wishes for everyone to be single because he was single. But if we can't just stop the yearning, he says get married. And that, well, I have to do some more research on that. I can't speak heavily on that. But you said Jesus and Paul had female ministers with them. I don't know if they talk about it. I have to do more research on that to better speak on that. I didn't say that. Eve is not responsible for Adam. Eve is responsible for her. She made the choice. Adam is responsible for Adam. Never said or Eve is responsible for Adam. People say Adam is responsible for what Eve did, and that's not true. Not true. Phoebe is one of them. Okay. Gotta do that. Hold on. Let me write that down. I don't want to forget that. So I will do my research. I don't just speak. I don't just blow smoke. I will look that up and hopefully gain some the next time we have this discussion on that. Priska, okay. And Junia. All right. And Junia. Paul made a distinction between his opinion and the word. Okay. Aquila and Priscilla. Isn't that that movie with the spelling bee? Aquila and the Bee? Husband and wife pastor. Yeah, I was actually a part of a church who was a husband and wife pastor. Didn't work out so well. I mean, I think we stayed there like 3 years. Yeah. Not saying that, was the cause or the reason of it, but, this particular husband and wife pastor didn't do right. But my thing is, that's where we have discernment of like, okay, I need to step away from this because I am the leader of my household and I'm responsible I'm the gatekeeper for what comes into my house. That what's going on. So, does the wife become a pastor when her husband gets a church? Good question. Because I've noticed that as well. Not a pastor, but a reverend. I've noticed that. I don't know as you're talking about. Becomes a pastor when the husband gets a church. I've seen it happen. But if I was like, no, you know what I mean? Because